Yo, what's up? This is Eldritch and welcome back to my channel where I like to talk about all things spooky, scary, and have a little bit of fun. Today on the channel, we're going to be talking about Halloween Horror Nights updates for both coasts, as well as rumors, major leaks, Scarezone info, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but a big old controversy on top of it all. Yes, there's a lot of buzz that's been going around in the Horror Nights speculation community since we last spoke, and I'm going to explain it all to you guys. Recently, there was a big old Scarezone leak, and as well as stirring up speculation, this thing sparked a major controversy across all of the speculation forums. This really shook some things up, I'm telling you. As well as all of that, we've got some even more juicy information with photos from BioReconstruct seemingly confirming Friday the 13th as well as Hatchet and Chains coming to the event this year. And for my Hollywood folks, I've got some construction updates as well. But first up, let's go over these Scarezone leaks. I'm gonna read them out to you, explain them to you, and then after that, we'll dive into the deeper root of why I'm making this video today. But listen up closely because there's a pretty big chance that the stuff that I'm about to say could be coming to the event this year, at least a few of them on this list. The leak reads that San Francisco will be labeled as a party zone of sorts. Guests can dance, get pictures with OC characters, and enjoy the party down the San Francisco street. An undead DJ will be there playing live every night to keep the party going. Live being in quotations here, of course. In Central Park, we have cattails. Wrought iron gates block the entrance to Crooked Lane. Legend has it she leads children down the lane to transform them into felines to add to her menagerie. The New York zone's simply titled Moss, when a cargo truck carrying unmarked and unsafe material hits a mafia car fleeing the scene of a bank heist. The streets of 1920s New York become grim for a mutant outbreak. Hollywood's titled Palm, stating, "You've been invited to a Halloween masquerade where guests wear elaborate, or I think they mean of, legendary monsters." Lord help all of you audio listeners, because the writing in this thing is super broken. I'm trying my best. As the night deepens and the dancing intensifies, the masks fall away, revealing the true horrors beneath. They are vampires, their predatory smiles glinting in the dim light. They turn their party into a bloodthirsty hunt, and you're the prey. Avenue of Stars is listed Ivy. In the garden of the conservatory, eerie monuments to Halloween Horror Nights 34 stand as haunting tributes crafted by unknown hands. Overgrowth weaves through twisted structures and wrought iron fences while large crows circle ominously, adding even more dread to this chilling showcase of horrors. If true, these are the Scarezones this year. So all of these Scarezones sound fun. They sound like they'll bring a good vibe to the event and could really fit in with what we've been seeing at Horror Nights in these past few years. It sounds like there could be a little bit of something for everybody, which sounds like what this year is going for in general across its haunted houses and Scarezones. We've got a party zone where people can hang out and enjoy themselves. We've got some scarier stuff on the list, and then we've got some fun stuff as well. Really trying to please the crowd this time around. Some of the Scarezones on this list definitely fit with the overarching theme that we're seeing for the event this year, with all of the vines and such, which for me is something I find very cool because I love when Halloween Horror Nights is themed to Halloween itself. HHN 31 was one of my favorite years we've had in a while because of how on point that theming was. I also think it's worth it to note that all of these do line up with the icons that we've seen on speculation maps recently from Horror Night Nightmares, which kind of raises the question, are these truly insider leaks, or could they possibly just be someone theorizing with the information we've already been given? A lot of people are being very quick into giving this a lot of credibility here, without really any information to go off of besides this guy said this on the internet. So let's dive into the comments under this post, shall we, and really try to dissect what's going on here. Let's see if this is truly viable information that we should be looking out for, or if it's just another person on the internet writing a fanfic. Top of the list, we've got I Know More Than You, my favorite HHN insider. Throughout the years, this guy's always been very consistent, treading on light waters, and not really willing to dip his beak too deep for anything that he can't back up. Here he writes, "Just a friendly reminder that trying to accurately predict Scarezones in May is borderline impossible. Not saying that none of these are coming, at least one of them is, but we always seem to get big surprise twists on Scarezone spec as late as July. Take that for what it's worth." I know it says OP here next to this person's name, but they just shared this list to the HHN subreddit. They're not the ones that made this or anything. Anyways, here they comment, "Yeah, but it does sound like the insider person had a document of all this stuff that they probably shouldn't have been sharing. Guess we'll see. It does seem a bit convenient that an Inside Universal member was standing right next to someone who has all the house/Scarezone info and was able to snap a picture of their phone. But perhaps I'm just a skeptic." Another user comments, "This member is very active and well known on Inside Universal. I couldn't see them posting false information just for the sake of it." And Pinhead responds, "Yeah, maybe not. I'm not on Inside Universal, just seems awfully convenient. I guess we'll see in the coming months." So if you are interested on who this insider is that posted this to Inside Universal, it's a user that goes by the name of Saint And extremely important to note, this insider that everybody's talking about that posted this here says, I don't want to get in trouble. They're saying that this is not their post. They're just simply sharing this information here. This isn't coming from a trusted insider. That very user that posted this to Inside Universal even commented on this thread, doubling down on that. They write, oh hey, that's me. Just to clarify, no, I didn't make it up. I literally have a photo to prove it. This person who is sharing this info is very active on Twitter and shares his own spec maps a lot. I won't say who, but if you know the circle well, you could probably figure it out. 2 comments later, they do spill the beans though, saying Jacob Jerry. This obviously being a half-hearted pseudonym for Jacob Carey. We get some more insight on how this is being shared around by this comment right here. My girlfriend, who is at Epic Universe, believes the person who leaked this was Jacob from Carey, a recent speculation mapper on Twitter. He went to Dark Universe with his own tablet, asking her and other guests if they wanted info about this year's event, then proceeded to show those people concept art and house descriptions. If the leaks are really true, that is really bad for whoever leaked it, as well as for Jacob to go around the park doing something like that. This user responds, Jacob is going to catch a cease and desist from Universal very soon. He is way overplaying his hand. With another user adding on, how did he get his hands on top secret information? His Twitter following has been growing since COVID, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had made some inside connection. But blatantly sharing official information like this is a big fat no-no. It puts people's jobs at risk and makes it a lot harder to get credible rumors in the future. I cannot emphasize enough how stupid of a move this was for him. Further down on the comment thread, a user writes, it was Jacob. He's going to get familiar with the legal team. What he has photos from is a very, very big deal. It's not just some contractor talking about the facade he's building. Edit. Also worth noting, we may have just seen the effective end of Halloween Horror Nights speculation season for a while. This is a major leak, not just scare zones, and the kind of thing that's going to have Universal locking down even tighter than they have previously. Pinhead tries to calm this down a little bit, saying there are big leaks most years. If this is an actual leak, and if it was leaked as being stated, then this was monumentally stupid. But it won't end spec season any more than the t-shirt leak from 3 years ago did, or the map from 2 years ago. A user writes back, oh hey, I totally forgot about the map thing, with Pinhead asserting, yeah, that one was crazy. He was a team member also, who had a YouTube channel. This is probably the best comment on this right here, emphasis on was and had. So it sounds to me that from the information that we've been finding here, that this stuff very well could be real, but is definitely subject to change. It seems like scare zones are really hard to nail down throughout the grapevine, and things change up frequently. It is worth it to note that there are no IP scare zones listed here. These are all original ones, which I know make a lot of people very happy, but it also makes it very convenient for these to not have to change, you know what I mean? IPs drop off frequently. Those are one of the things that we have to replace at the last minute every year. But with this not having any IPs, I would assume that if things were to go according to plan and these were real, then these would be the exact scare zones that we should be getting, right? I don't know. It's interesting to me where people choose to draw the line where it comes to speculation, you know what I mean? Like what I do here, explaining to you guys the news and everything, I'm not leaking anything, you know what I'm saying? I'm just reporting what I'm finding on the internet to you guys. Then we can all come together and make our final conclusions about this stuff, and at the end of the day, it's all speculation, and it's all subject to change. So who really knows what's going to be coming to the event, you know what I mean? But when you have people straight up showing people official things that they're not supposed to have their hands on, we're talking about people that work for the company and are leaking things that absolutely are not supposed to be leaked. It seems like that's where people cross the line, because you're putting people's jobs at risk, and you're also putting the speculation season as a whole at risk here. It's one thing for somebody to be clumsy and leave something outside and bio-reconstruct to grab a picture of it, you know what I mean? It's another thing entirely for somebody to steal an entire PDF document containing all of the plans for Halloween Horror Nights and to walk around an Epic Universal event that they were invited to, I'm assuming, considering they got there early, and showing people 100% accurate things that are coming to the event, complete with detailed designs that just weren't supposed to be shown to anybody yet. It's known that this Jacob from Carey guy doesn't work for the park, so he got this information from somebody else, and it's that person whose job he is putting at risk. Assumingly, somebody anonymously told him some stuff that they thought that he would slowly drip out or keep under wraps to a certain extent, and he just blew the whole thing wide open, leaving the whole paper trail behind him. Somebody is probably losing their job for this. And that's where the line, I guess, is crossed. That's where the dangers lie in all of this. Horror Night Nightmares even had a problem with this, and that's why they have the logos that they do on their map instead of the straight up ones that they used to have back in the day. There was like a whole poll that went out on the internet, and people all together decided that they liked the mystique and the chase of the whole thing a little bit more than just being told what's supposed to be coming. In the end, Horror Night Nightmares decided to make that change to their maps. Other speculation map makers haven't really followed in that trend. Now me, I am not a leaker. I do not work for Universal, and I don't know any information that you guys can't find also on the internet yourselves. I just do all the research for you, go around finding all the different forums and all the different Discords and stuff like that, compiling everything together so that I can give you guys a full detailed explanation of what's floating around the rumor mill. I report the HHN news to you. That's my job here. I wonder what will happen to this guy now that he put all this information out there. I wonder what will happen to his content and social medias now that he's blown the whistle on Universal. I'm sure that they'll want to crack down on that. You got people reporting this stuff everywhere at this point. I am not alone in this. Everyone's talking about it. But where did this guy get his information? Let's dig a little bit deeper even. Now here's a lead that we can find pretty interesting. This user writes, "These zones have been discussed on X by Hollowed Out Horror sometime last week. As people say, spec is just spec, but zone spec is especially difficult. If this ends up being what we get, I'd be surprised, but it does align with a lot of what we've been hearing." Now on this little post, we see Collection of Horrors, Mafia Mutants, Attack of the Werecats, Halloween Masquerade, and the HHN Party Zone, which does align pretty well with this leak here. This user comments, "I think the leak came from Jacob from Cary, who is friends with Hollowed Out Horror this year," with another user stating, "Definitely seems that way given the way they framed the person. So either regurgitating information or further confirmation. We don't exactly know what came first here, the chicken or the egg, but if all of these scare zones end up being true, I think it's fair to say that these guys are kinda joined in cahoots here. Maybe it's possible that Hollowed Out Horror is playing dirty this year in order to try to get an upper hand over Horror Night Nightmares. In past years, Hollowed Out Horror has more so been like a wish list speculation map more than an actual speculation map of things that we think are coming. They have a very low accuracy rating in the long run, we'll just say that. That's why I personally don't even really pay much attention or even look at their maps. So with this information that we have on the table here, how about we pull their maps up? I'll take a look at it for the very first time and we'll see how it tracks. So taking a look at both of these maps here for Florida and for Hollywood, they both look pretty much spot on to what we've been thinking and seeing coming this year from all the speculation that we've been following. They match up almost identically to what we've been seeing on the Horror Night Nightmares maps, with the slight exception that these guys are brave enough to use actual logos, kind of like what I do on my channel. But do I see anything that stands out as being different or more accurate here? Not really. That could be because these guys are hot on the trails and so are we, or it could be that they don't know anything more than anybody else does and we're all on the same page here. The only way to really put this to the test is when it comes to these scare zones, because as everybody's been saying, these things are extremely hard to predict. If these stories that we've seen floating around about this guy running around Epic Universe showing people top secret information on a tablet is true, then they absolutely have something that they shouldn't, and they're probably about to get it taken away from them. If you see some accounts end up getting deleted or we see some announcements coming soon, I guess we'll have confirmation of what's going on. Another thing that I do find very interesting about this Jacob from Cary guy that will transition us over into talking about construction updates is this Twitter post of him talking about a picture posted by BioReconstruct showing a Volkswagen Beetle sitting outside of whatever haunted house is going in the Fast and Furious building. Here he states that this has to be the bug from Friday Part 3, and you know what? It does look absolutely identical to it. This is the exact same shade of yellow as that bug. We can also see here some wooden planks lined out that could be construction for something else, but kinda looks like a optical illusion of a dock of some sort to me. It'd be cool for this house to get a really awesome facade to bring us into it. This next picture is coming straight from a DC Thrills video where he said that one of his subscribers sent him this picture, and it appears to be of some sort of a caravan buggy. Now, could this be confirmation of the Hatchet and Chains house coming? I think that's pretty likely. Over in Hollywood, we've seen all kinds of construction. We've seen a little bit going on in the Mummy building, and we've seen a little bit going on for the facade of whatever we're getting from Monstros this year. But a little bit of information that may be viable for both coasts is that the Wyatt 6 has just made their return in WWE, and it was to huge cheering applause and all kinds of speculation. It's looking more likely than ever that we're actually going to be getting a house from them at HHN this year. It's only a matter of time before announcements come flying in for all of these things that we are looking at here. So that wraps it up for my video today. That's all the information that I have to share with you guys. What do you think about it? How do you feel about the Scarezone leak? How do you feel about the scare zones if they are real? Are you excited for them? Do you like the ideas at play? How do you feel about leakers? How do you feel about insiders? And where do you feel the line should be drawn with all of this stuff? Do you want it all? Do you just need it immediately? Universal's not putting out stuff quick enough, so you need those leakers to put it out for you? Or do you like the mystique of the whole thing? Were you one of those people on those Horror Night Nightmares polls that voted in favor of the way that they do things? However you're feeling about it, it, hit those comments down below and let me know. It's cool to see that the WWE rumor is floating around as much as it is. The debate of whether or not it's going to be Bray Wyatt or The Undertaker is pretty hot. Personally, I'm cool with either. I would prefer the Bray Wyatt one, but a Horrors of WWE house would also be really cool. There are just truly so many horror characters that WWE has used over the years that would be cool to see in the flesh. But as always, if you enjoyed my video today, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content just like this. Speculation season is only getting started. I don't think, personally, that it's going anywhere. I'm gonna have so much more to share with you guys, and it's only gonna be hyping up from here, for real. And if you really liked my video today, be sure to send it over to a friend you think might enjoy it too. I'm still pretty new over here on YouTube, but I've got hours and hours of awesome horror content for you to binge watch over on my channel. You should head over there and browse my catalog. You'll probably find some other videos you like. I've been Terror, and whether your day's been going good or bad today, I hope it gets better.